This book has led a lot of people to question whether Donald Trump is mentally stable enough to be president. Spoiler alert. On Saturday, Trump slapped back the notion that he's incompetent, tweeting, "Actually, throughout my life, my two greatest assets have been mental stability and being, like, really smart."
It was the night the Ed Sullivan Theater stopped feeling like a comedy stage and turned into something far more serious. For weeks, Donald Trump had been making bold, repeated claims online, calling himself the smartest student ever at Wharton.
Being, like, really smart is not the same thing as being really smart.
And challenging anyone to prove otherwise. He openly mocked Stephen Colbert, calling him a low IQ lightweight and pushing the network to check the records. This time, Stephen didn't ignore it. He accepted the challenge directly. When the show began, Stephen walked out with a completely different presence. No humor, no smile, just focus.
Today, was this today? This morning, Donald Trump had an answer for that, too. "I think it's fake news, but if he did that, I guess we'll have to compare IQ tests, and I can tell you who is going to win." Me too.
Standing behind his desk, he placed his hand on a sealed archival box stamped with the University of Pennsylvania crest. Looking straight into the camera, he said, "For years, Donald Trump has claimed he was a genius, the top of his class. Tonight, we look at the truth." He explained that the package had arrived after a formal request and contained official academic material. Without wasting time, Stephen carefully opened the box. He put on white archival gloves, making it clear this was not a joke segment. He pulled out an aged document and held it up. This is the 1970 Wharton Undergraduate Aptitude Assessment, a supervised exam designed to measure readiness for the business world. The camera zoomed in as he pointed to the name printed at the top, Donald J. Trump, and just below it, the date, May 12, 1970. Stephen adjusted his glasses and continued. "Donald has told everyone he scored in the super genius range." He paused, then said firmly, "Let's look at the actual data." Turning the page, he read, Section 1, Verbal Reasoning. Then clearly, percentile 18th.
We have the results of their IQ test right here. Tillerson scored a 120. It's above average, not genius, but still pretty good. And we have Donald Trump's results right here. It's a drawing of a big truck that says MAGA. And there's Trump right there. And here's Rex Tillerson. But Trump calls him Rex Smellerson, okay? So it's a toss-up. We're not entirely sure.
He looked directly into the camera and repeated, 18th percentile. That means 82% of students performed better than Donald Trump. He let the moment sit before adding, Proctor's note, student struggles with complex words and refuses to read passages longer than one paragraph, calling them boring. Keeping the same pace, Stephen flipped to the next section. Section 2, Mathematical Logic. He traced the score slowly and read, 92 out of 200. Then he looked up again and said, "That's not top of the class. That's failing." He continued reading from the margin notes. Student attempts to solve problems by writing "I win" and shows inability to understand basic business concepts, repeatedly confusing revenue with profit.
So far, it has been a rough start to the school year for Donald Trump. His report card is definitely going to say, has problems working and playing well with others.
He paused briefly, then added, "These are not opinions. These are documented observations." Stephen then reached back into the box and pulled out a smaller pink slip attached to the file. Holding it up, he said, "And for those asking how he graduated," he read it word for word, "student is not academically qualified for graduation. However, due to a significant financial contribution from Fred Trump, a pass is granted to avoid complications." His voice remained steady, but the weight of the statement was clear. Looking straight into the camera, Stephen continued, "Donald Trump has spent years building the image of being self-made, of being intellectually superior." He tapped the document lightly, but this tells a different story. He leaned forward slightly and said, "You told everyone to check the records. You challenged people to prove you wrong. So we did." His tone sharpened as he went on. "You called me low IQ. You claimed you were the smartest. But these numbers, these are yours."
Trump's ongoing papal feud, and I love saying that sentence, Trump's ongoing papal feud has failed to distract anyone from...
He pointed directly at the paper again. "This is not commentary. This is your own academic record." Then he slowed down, choosing each word carefully. "You didn't hide this because you were humble. You hid it because it didn't match the image you built." Stephen paused, letting the silence build, then delivered the final line with precision. "You weren't the smartest person in the room. You were just the one who could pay the most." He closed the folder firmly and removed his glasses, still looking straight into the camera. There was no joke, no laughter, no transition back to comedy. The tone remained serious until the very end. The screen faded to black, leaving behind a single lasting impression, the clear contrast between what was claimed and what was revealed.